Good, I'm here.
Great. Mary Beth Chen, we have. Mary Beth?
Here.
Ethan K.
Present.
Great. Brett Freeman.
Present.
Delano Jones. Delano, I see you there. I think you're not part of the board, so I think we're okay. Michael Scott.
Yes.
Great.
The roll call actually is just for the board members for quorum.
Great. So Dr. Smith.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Great. And then if you could come off of mute. There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Miller is here.
Miller?
Present.
Great. Okay, so I think we're present. The only person that is missing from this right now is Doug Hewson, and he is on vacation today. At this point, we're going to roll into public comments. If there's any public comments, if you can do me a favor and put it in the chat window down at the bottom, and then either be acknowledged and we can read your public comment, or you would have 3 minutes for a public comment session.
We don't seem to have a public comment.
Okay. There'll be additional public comments towards the latter end of the agenda in the event that you have comments during the meeting that you want to raise towards the end. At this point, we're going to move this group, the board folks, into closed session so we can approve some contracts for our Irvine International Academy personnel.
Okay.
Who is moving us into closed session? Is Mary Beth, is that you?
Yes, I am. Let me move
Okay.
you to closed session.
Fantastic. It should be, my guess is for the folks that are on public side, give us about 20 minutes to come in and out of closed session.
So Glenn, would Michael Scott and Principal Chuang be a part of this closed session?
Yes, I will be.
Yes, I think, yeah, the answer is yes to both.
Okay.
Folks, if it's easier, I could log off and you guys can just text me when you're back. Oh, they're gone. Okay.
Let's see. Move to, right? And main session.
Yeah.
It's not doing it.
Okay, then try to close all.
Close all session.
No, close. What's the option?
Oh, here's,
Yeah, I already leave the meeting.
Got it.
okay, I guess they can leave. Okay.
Okay, maybe I'll go and tell them how to do it.
Okay. I think everyone's back. Is everyone back?
Okay, I think we're all back. So at this point, what I'm going to ask Edward to do is during the closed session, the board approved 4 candidates for approval for Irvine International Academy. If Edward can just go through those names and then we can talk about the voting that came off of it.
Yes, thank you, Glenn. Those 4 that we approved were Sammy Wah, Kara Gallardo, Jenna Tatia Trirong, and Kim I-In Chung.
Great. Thanks, Edward. So coming off of that, the board unanimously approved all 4 of those candidates for employment with Irvine International Academy. Next on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'll ask Dr. Scott to lead us in that, please.
Great. You put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. Approval of last minutes. I was not at the meeting last week, so I've gone through the minutes, but I need somebody to motion to approve those minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes unless anyone
Great.
else has anything to say about them.
Great, thanks, Brett. I need a second, please.
I'll second.
Great, Dr. Scott and Jolene. Great, so any problems with the minutes that somebody had read through? If not, then the minutes are approved from last. Dr. Scott, an update from you? And are you doing the business and fiscal update too, Dr. Scott?
No, we're having our
Delano
friend
Jones?
Delano Jones. will
Great,
be
great.
doing that. And a quick compliment, Athena's been outstanding. They have been such a bedrock for us. But my update, real quick, Thursday, we have our special event. So I'd like to confirm, Glenn, I heard that you're going to be able to make that one. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Wonderful. And is everybody else going to be to make it on the board?
I'll be there.
Ethan will
be there.
Yes, that will be there.
All right. And I think Doug will maybe be back. We'll see. Miller will not. Sorry, Miller. We're going to miss you.
No, I cannot. You know that.
Yes. So he's going to come, though, when school starts. And
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fantastic.
look forward to hosting him for a dinner, and you can all visit with him.
Thank you.
All right. So that answers one question for us. The big event, we have the mayor of Irvine is going to come speak. And Donald Wagner, the county superintendent for Irvine, will be there, as well as a second council member, Michael, I'm just looking for his name, Myers, I think it is. So they will be there as well. Michael Carroll, that's who it is, council member, used to be the vice mayor. We're excited about Ethan Kay will be there for the Kay Family Foundation. Doug Freeman will be speaking about the Orange County Music and Dance. And we hope to have Orange County registered. I am paying for a video production person to come and take pictures of the event so we can have some records to put on our website. The school has come together really well. Sunny has worked hard to bring several groups, and the custodian, Bill, Mr. Bill, is working his fingers to the bone to prepare the school as beautifully as possible. So that is probably the big event that we have. All
What
right.
time is that event again?
It starts at 10, ends at 12.
That's what I thought.
And we invite you to come after 9 o'clock in room 25. It's at the top of the building to see and talk and visit with other the dignitaries. We'll have them gather there first. All right. Stephen, would you like to add anything?
For the update?
Yes, you work so hard. There's probably a half dozen things you can share.
Oh,
I'm
so,
sorry I put you on the spot.
no, it's fine. I just, so Mary Beth and I work really hard to reach out to all of our families to confirm that they will show up on the first day of school. So now we do have some families, sharing that they will not come. So we started contacting families from the wait list. So far we're hoping we'll be able to have 370 students on our first day. That's the update regarding the student enrollment. As to the classroom preparation, we do have lots of conversation from parents sharing their concern regarding the current COVID-19 situation. So we are thinking that at one point we do need to prepare for the distant learning option, because I think at one point some family would like that option to be available from our school. And I want to thank Mary Beth again for working so hard that we order all the textbooks, so they should arrive before the school opens. So we'll be ready regarding the textbooks. Thank you.
I'd like to also mention Stephen has been leading groups all last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So every parent had a chance to come and see our school from the inside and meet a few of our people in the staff. And that was a lot of work too. A lot of talking, a lot of time well spent with our families.
Are we planning to do a health check-in process, infrared thermometer or something for the incoming students each day, or just wondering the thoughts on that?
I don't think we've planned for every day, but there's nothing wrong with getting the equipment and testing at least once a week. Of course, any child that reports to be sick, we'll be sure to stay home.
Brett, to answer your question, I'm working with our PTO. So we will have a procedure regarding every day, how to monitor our students, maybe check their temperature before they enter the campus, and then the protocol to report to the office if they are not feeling well. And what would be the protocol that we can explain to parents. This is how we would like our parents to follow.
Thank you.
Once we have more details, we'll share with the board.
Dr. Scott, anything else?
No, I think that is good for right now.
Okay. Delano Jones, could you give us an update on the business and fiscal update?
All right. Good afternoon, good evening, everyone, I should say. It's a pleasure to be here. I'd like to introduce myself first, and then sort of talk a little bit about the services that we at Athena Advanced Solutions provides to you, to Irvine International, and as well as some of the other resources and things like that we have at our disposal, and how we connect not just with the administration, but also with the governance body as well, which is this body here. As I mentioned, my name is Delano Jones. I am one of the co-owners of Athena Advanced Solutions. We provide an array of business solution services to charter schools and nonprofits. I've been in this industry over 15 years. I've worked at just about every level that you can consider within charter schools in terms of the business and the fiscal end, whether it's at a charter school, for a charter school. I worked for the authorizers, county office of ed, back office providers, and now for myself. So I've pretty much run the gamut of what you would consider work experience within charter schools. I also served as a board member for 16 years for a charter school here in San Diego. It was a K-12 school, one of the first charter schools that was approved by San Diego Unified. It was in that first wave in the mid 90s, if you will. Obviously I came on long after that, but I served on that board for 16 years up until 2019, and then I came off. Not because I wasn't passionate anymore. It was just time. 16 years is a long time in any place. But nonetheless, I do have that experience with me and that in my toolbox. Mary Beth and I were chatting before you guys got back in here, and I said, yeah, I can already see, this board and some of the things that I experienced as a new board member serving on the school and things like that. One of the things that I would like to kind of start with is that, which is, as the governance body of this institution, you guys are key stakeholders, right? And I think you all know this as well. You've contracted with us, Athena Advanced Solutions, to provide a key resource and support to your school. Obviously, we take care of a lot of the fiscal compliance, governance, support, things like that. But we provide a lot of day-to-day hands-on assistance and support as well to the administration and staff. So we are somewhat integrated in a lot of the moving parts around the school. And I'm sure Michael and Stephen and staff can tell you that, every day there's some challenge that we have to overcome to get one step closer to the opening. I met Michael and Stephen through a mutual party about a year ago, gentlemen. I think so, somewhere in there. I think you guys were just getting ready to submit to Irvine the first time around.
More than a year.
Yeah. Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I came, when I met them, I saw what they had, and I said, Michael had told me the story of, they had not been successful with this. And we knew that there were going to be some opposition to it along the way. My experience is that most districts will say, no, we don't want anything to do with this charter. Let go be someone else's problem. But I knew that you guys had something fantastic. And I from the gate, I said, yes. And if you're strategic, no one is really doing what you're doing as a charter school in California that I know with any degree of success. So from the gate, I saw that. It was just a matter of getting Orange County Department of Ed to believe in you guys, right? So now, circle forward, here we are, right? As I told Michael and Stephen the very next day after the charter was approved, that, that was not the hard work. The hard work is just now beginning. You guys remember that statement, right? And I'll say this also to this board as well, which is now the hard work begins, right? Because now you guys are in charge of 400 plus little lives that will cross paths every day at that institution, right? And so every decision that you make, every action that you do will impact someone, and most importantly them, right? I owe it to you based on the contract that you guys approved. I report to this board. I will be clear about that. You have free reign to call me, contact me at any point in time with any questions that you may have about anything that I said, or to fact check anything whatsoever. Right. And the administration can share my contact info with you. I do believe in transparency 1000%, right? And, I am the gatekeeper, if you will, in many areas, but I'm not the only gatekeeper. This governance body is, right? And together, along with the administration, we should be able to provide, the best education possible for every student that walks in those doors, right? That's why I'm here. That's my why. That's why I do this, because I want you guys to be successful. So I offer to you tools, my resources, everything at my disposal to ensure that you guys are successful. As I mentioned, I was a board member for 16 years. That's a long time. I've made some good decisions, and I've made some terrible ones as well. And I'll be the first to tell you that. But the most important thing that I take away from all of that is that I made a decision, right? Sometimes it worked out well and other times it didn't. But my intent were always, for those students, the staff, etc. I do not necessarily have a fiscal update for you tonight. We're just getting started. You guys, we're almost, officially a month into the fiscal year, But as we go along, as we get into say next month and we start to, close out each month and, we'll close out July, we'll start to produce reports. Now we'll have a standing area in the on the agenda where I will present financials and other items that, you guys will need to approve, et cetera, et cetera. There are boatload of compliance reports and things like that that you guys will have to approve throughout the course of the year, things like that. So there will be lots of opportunity for us to interact, engage, dialogue, discuss, what's in the best interest of the school. So I'm here to support. I'm here, as a resource, as an ally. And trust me when I tell you, I applaud you all. I appreciate you all for what you're doing, because I know it's not easy to give up your summer Tuesday evening to do this. Right. So, any person that, and this is a volunteer position, so no one is getting a check. Right. And so, we know that this is a labor of love. There's passion there for you guys, and I will definitely support that as well. So that's my spiel. That's all about Delano Jones. If you guys want to ask me anything about what I do, how we do it, what's the best way to engage with you guys, et cetera, feel free to do so. But thank you for the time.
Oh, no, thanks. Yeah, Mary Beth, if you could get his contact information out to all the board members, so in the event we need to do a direct reach out, that would be fantastic.
Sure.
Delano, thanks, and I look forward to working with you on a monthly basis.
Awesome. Thank you. And pleasure to meet you all as well again.
Thanks, Delano.
Thanks, guys.
Great to meet you.
So next we're going to go into the core of the board agenda, and it's the first agenda item on there is the updating the employee handbook. So Michael, do you want to give us a brief update on that? I know it's in process.
Yes, I had hoped to give it to you today, but because of Kim's addition and her great experience in human resource and payroll, we finished she did a review, and then we finished a several-hour update and just sent it out to Athena for their review. So it's, in a sense, it's ready, but we just need Athena's review, and then we'll pass it on to the board members for approval at the next board meeting.
Okay, makes sense. And then we talked a little bit about distance learning, Michael, during our closed session. You want to give us an update on what we're going to be doing there?
Okay, there may be a misunderstanding on this. I'll talk with Stephen tomorrow. The Orange County Department of Ed talked to me about charter schools have the option of distant learning because of COVID, for fragile students is the way they framed it. But it's a lot of extra work. You have to have a whole plan made up. And many charter schools are not choosing that option, especially with us with dual language immersion, the importance of practice and watching a person's face. It's not that TVs don't work well, but videos, but we just believe that this is an in-person situation. So it's possible to be missing for a couple of weeks. Short-term independent studies already in our petition. We have a plan for that. But long-term requires way too much effort, and it's not funded. And we're not planning on doing that. So I've already informed them that we will not be doing a long-term COVID arrangement. But however, in the petition, we did put together a plan if COVID requires an extra change in our school operation, a plan B. Basically involves 2 days at school, 2 days at home on video, and the third day activity. It's not the same thing as long distance learning proposal.
So Michael, then tuning into the next option, that agenda item was adoption of COVID guidelines, right? Mainly, I assume we're following California guidelines. Is that correct?
That's correct. We are following California guidelines. CDC has their own guidelines that they've suggested, and California's guidelines are stricter, and that's what we're following, including the county. So the essence of it is everybody's required to wear a mask in school. I'll leave my personal opinions out of this. We're just going to follow the law.
Okay, any plexiglass, Michael, will be doing in this? Because my assumption is we're gonna have some folks listening to this call and that couldn't attend directly. I'm just trying to get a little more information out for the folks that would be listening in.
Plexiglass, we have some plans to use it in music.
Okay,
We also plan on that music part with horn blowing and wind instruments to maybe perhaps be outside where masks are not required. In the classroom, there's no plans for plexiglass at this time. The mask, if they work, will be enough of a barrier.
the next item on the agenda is authorization of this for the school board,
Not for the school, personnel for the school.
right?
That it means the statement and the end of contracts allow us to hire for our needs that begin August 1st before the next board meeting, trying to avoid special board meetings to approve contracts. And there is language in the contracts already. I've checked with the Young Mini and Core.
Hey, Doug, could you go on mute for me?
So we've discussed that personnel can be hired, our aides, classroom aides, after school aides. We still need to find a science person. We have just to repeat, we have a grant now that allows us for hiring a personnel. I did travel to San Diego to visit with a 2017 biology teacher of the year that is now a principal there. They also have one person dedicated for science at that school. And the school has done wonderfully. It's in a Vista, California, in a kind of a horror area, I guess would be a good word. And their science program has really improved because that was individual available.
Okay, so item D, Michael, there's nothing for the board to approve, right? That's currently in the charter.
Yes.
But the summary is you have the authority to hire what you need between now and the end of August. And then you'll bring the personnel back to us in the event that the board needs to review it and or deny the person at the school, correct?
The board will still review and has the authority for yes or no. And then, yes, that's correct.
Okay, great. All right, and then the last item on the agenda is approval of $2,590 for a stipend for Michael Scott for postgraduate degree.
Yeah, every person at our school following Irvine Unified School District policy receives a stipend if they have a master's degree. Unfortunately, that was left out of my contract. It's not a big deal. I have 2 master's degree and a PhD. So it's just the regular stipend. 2,500 needs to be acted on the board because it wasn't in the original contract.
Okay, great. So any discussion by the board members on that topic E? Any questions from board members on that spend?
It's a stipend in the event that you want to pursue another degree, or it's
No.
allotted for you. How does
I
that
think
work?
what it is it was supposed to be included in the original contract for Michael. And when we approved the contract, we forgot to include this stipend because of his postgraduate degree that he already had.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so if there's no questions or concerns, I'll make a motion to approve the $2,599 stipend for Michael Scott for
A
postgraduate.
second?
And could I get a round approvals?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
against? No, passes 6-0. The last item on the agenda is board recommendations. So Michael, help me with this one.
Okay, I'm going to assume we're not adding anybody to the board.
That's right.
So I'm going to assume it's, does the board would like me as a servant to them to pursue anything? What can I help with?
Got it. Yeah, I guess, Michael, my only question is I'd like to start to see the finances sooner than later. So whether or not, Delano, you can start to share with me as the finance controller on the board, what we're going to see so I can get a preview, like the templates and what, I assume you've done this for other charters. I just kind of want to see what we're going to report And I know we have a lot of state reporting to do. That's part of that also. So I'll make sure we have just a preview of that before the next board meeting.
Yeah,
if that's possible.
absolutely. What I will do in my practice, for all my clients, is to have a packet of financials that the board will get in advance of every meeting to review, et cetera. Along with that, you'll get an income statement, a balance sheet,
Right.
a check register or warrant listing, things like that. Then obviously a cash flow to sort of show, cash flow over time, et cetera. All those things obviously, gets better over time for you guys, because the world of charter school or school finances is it's an anomaly in the sense of how revenues come in, how you recognize revenues, things like that, et cetera. But yes, short answer to your question, we will provide our financials on a monthly basis. And we're about a month behind. Obviously the timing of your board meeting works well for us because, we'll close out 1 month in time for us to prepare and send over for your board before the meeting. So it should work nicely by the August, help me here, to 20-something, 24th maybe?
Yeah, it's last Tuesday of the month.
Yeah, it's okay. So somewhere maybe a little bit after the 24th, so we'll have it for you guys on a go forward basis.
Okay. Any other board members have board recommendations for Michael? Okay. Mary,
Can I interject one more thing that I almost forgot to mention? Sorry. And along with that, I plan on bringing back a budget for approval.
Right.
One of the things that we want to ensure, and obviously there may be 3 or 4 iterations of the budget that you approve this year, because there's so much unknown at the moment. But I want to give you guys an opportunity to at least have a budget that we've discussed at this level, get that approved, and have that as the approved budget until school starts. Once we know what those numbers come out to be, then we'll revise that budget, things like that. So we are in the dark a little bit here, until school starts, because that's really when you get a real gauge for where, things are going to flow, et cetera, based on those number of students. So just plan for a couple of iterations of the budget during the course of this year,
Okay.
at least now through December.
Great. Thank you. Okay, at this point, we're going to move on to public comments. If you have a public comment, if you could just put your name in the chat window and then we can get to you. And Mary Beth, if you can go to the chat window for us and acknowledge whether or not we have anybody that is prepared to do a public comment, either we can read it or they can speak for 3 minutes.
No, we don't. We don't
Okay.
have anyone in the chat room.
In that case, I have a quick public comment. Doug, that's a killer suntan you're sporting there.
Sorry about that, guys. I was on the backside of Maui with no cell reception to get online and literally just walked into the room. So, yeah.
Not a problem, Doug. Enjoy your vacation. And are we going to be able to see you Thursday or you won't be back by then?
I fly back on Friday.
And we'll miss you. Okay, great. Okay, at this time, I think it is 7:03 p.m. and I make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Great. And any concerns? No, motion carried. Great. Have a great night. For the folks that were going to connect, Michael and Stephen, we'll see you this Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you for
Awesome.